The cameras are rolling, the air is thick with anxiety, and all of social media is humming. The whispers have been getting louder for weeks. The family drama has spread well beyond the living room screens, and the conjecture has reached a fever pitch. Answers have been demanded by fans. Reputations are in jeopardy, and alliances have been shattered. However, the reality has finally arrived and cannot be disregarded after all the tears, accusations, denials, and late-night outbursts. The actors and fans are gasping for air as a DNA test has dropped like a bombshell, appending the most outrageous plot in love and hip-hop. Mendeecees Harris, who has been the subject of persistent back-and-forth arguments and circulating rumors, has been thrust back into the spotlight. Additionally, there won't be any running, hiding, or easy talking out of it this time. The test has made a statement. The test has verified. All along, Erica was correct. As the proof is shown in black and white, every rumor, every sidelong glance, and every tear she cried all come flooding back with startling clarity. DNA doesn't lie, and this discovery is going to blow up like dynamite, tearing apart family ties, friendships, and relationships in a way that nobody could have predicted. More than ever, emotions are running high. The question on everyone's minds is straightforward, and fans are glued to their TVs. What comes next now that the truth cannot be disputed? Everything is going to change at this precise instant. Everyone will be talking about this drama, which nobody anticipated. For weeks, there had been tension in the Harris home. The room was filled with whispers, like sparks ready to catch fire. Erica had been unrelenting. Her voice could be heard in every corridor, every reunion recording, and every private discussion that inexplicably ended up in the public eye. I am aware of what I witnessed. I am aware of how I felt. Despite Mendeecees' repeated denials, she persisted, her remarks impassioned and penetrating. Online fans had already chosen sides. Some others are using supportive hashtags to back Erica. Mendeecees was being set up by past grudges and jealousy, according to others. However, the drama was there everywhere and could not be avoided. The rumors had developed into a storm that was finally on the verge of blowing up. It was like the quiet before an earthquake when the DNA test results arrived. Even Mendeecees was unable to ignore the deafening hush. Giving Erica those half-smiles and dismissing her charges as if they were just another episode of reality TV, he had walked around with his typical assurance. Exaggerations aside, even he was aware that the truth was encroaching on him like an unavoidable shadow behind those sunglasses and calm appearance. Erica had her moment, but she was seated across from him, her nails tapping the table in time with her racing heart. "That DNA is going to speak for you," she said. "You can lie to me. You can lie to the cameras, but you can't lie to blood." The world appeared to cease spinning when the envelope was ripped open. The cameras enlarged. Millions of fans on the internet braced themselves for the drama they had been anticipating as the producers held their breath. Next to the indisputables was Mendeecees' name, written in bold. 9% of them match. The father was him. Chaos broke out in the room. Overlapping voices. Erica's triumphant yet heartbroken chuckle cut through the commotion. In a matter of seconds, Mendeecees' typical arrogance vanished as he sat in stunned silence. He had taken great satisfaction in his ability to talk his way out of any situation for years. However, he was now exposed, defenseless, and cornered due to the DNA. Reactions from the family came in waves. Some were stunned, some incensed, and yet others stood in astonishment, attempting to comprehend the extent of the deception. "You have been deceiving us all along, then?" A fan on the internet typed in all caps, "Erica knew. She warned us," as another voice yelled from behind the cameras. She was correct. The weight of years of mistrust was evident in Erica's voice, which was suddenly torn between pride and grief. "I pleaded with you to be honest. The truth doesn't care about your falsehoods, so I pleaded with you to come forward, and look at you now, ashamed." Her hair whipped as she dramatically twisted her head, indicating that the tables had been turned. Naturally, the producers focused on every moment, capturing close-ups of Mendeecees changing facial expressions as he attempted to gather himself. With his hands clutching the chair's edge as if it were the only thing keeping him upright, he murmured under his breath, "I just need a minute," but Erica wasn't letting him. She leaned forward, her eyes blazing, and added, "You had months and years even to give me a minute. You don't receive one now. One the entire globe is now aware." Every fan had something to say, and the drama became more than just. Memes appeared on social media in a matter of seconds, response GIFs spread like wildfire, and hashtags like #NaditiI and #Erica was right shot up the trending charts. Even Yandy was unable to remain silent as she watched her husband's world fall apart in front of millions of people. She had fiercely defended her husband, stood by him through accusations, and told everyone who would listen that Erica was just stirring up trouble, but now that the results had hit her in the face, her own feelings erupted. In a confessional scene, she yelled at him, her voice shaking with rage, "I've been out here defending you, telling everybody my man would never, and you let me be the fool. You let me take all the heat, all the shade, while you sat there knowing this day was coming." Her eyes were glossy with tears, and her voice cracked. For the first time, Yandy wasn't just upset, she was devastated. Fans who had looked up to the couple started to doubt their allegiance, wondering if Yandy was the victim or if she was helping to hide a fact that everyone else already knew. The fan base's division grew more intense by the hour as each new video was analyzed. Every body language breakdown was shared on TikTok like a courtroom study. The repercussions was immense, public, and not just personal. Mendeecees attempted to maintain what little dignity he still had, but I wasn't sure for sure. He said, "I didn't know until now, just like you guys," but Erica interrupted him with a sour laugh. "Boy, stop lying. You knew," he said. The audience watching from home felt the sting of those words as if Erica was speaking directly to them. The betrayal wasn't just hers, it belonged to every fan who had trusted Mendeecees' carefully constructed persona. "You always knew, you just didn't want to admit it because the truth doesn't fit the image you try to sell. This man truly gaslighted us for years," as seen by the flow of sadness, rage, and vindication in the comment sections. One fan said, "Erica deserves an apology in front of everybody." Another said, "No amount of damage control could stop the storm now, it was only getting stronger." The producers discussed in whispers how to deal with the fallout, including whether to incorporate this drama into the next reunion special or turn it into a standalone, explosive plot. The weight of the DNA results didn't only devastate Mendeecees, it spread like a ripple across all of his relationships, causing friends to become estranged. However, one thing was certain, this revelation wasn't just television, it was history in the making. Erica embraced her vindication, posting cryptic messages online that sent fans into a frenzy. "When the truth shows up, lies got to pack up and leave," she wrote in one post. Business partners were hesitant to attach their names to his brand, and family members avoided calls out of fear of being dragged into the chaos. Her fans showered her with love and fire emojis, and every action she took fueled the story, keeping it vibrant and alive, but the underlying question remained, what now? After being humiliated in public, could Mendeecees restore his reputation? Could Yandy forgive him for betraying her and making millions of people think she was a fool? Above all, would Erica finally receive the resolution she had been pursuing? Or would this discovery merely cause additional pain? Mendeecees was out of control for the first time in years as the dust just started to settle. He slumped back in his chair, his eyes darting between the cameras and the faces gazing at him. At that moment, he said, almost to himself, but loud enough for everyone to hear. The producers drew in, feeling that the real storm was just getting started, and Yandy's jaw tightened as Erica flashed him a glance. "This ain't over." The words broke the silence, leaving everyone shocked. Just moments after Mendeecees spoke those eerie words, "This ain't over," the cameras cut back. If Mendeecees was correct, the drama was far from over, and neither family, friends, nor fans were prepared for what lay ahead. Erica, who had been enjoying her victory, narrowed her eyes as if she already knew Mendeecees had another card to play. The whole room seemed to change. Mendeecees leaned forward, his voice firmer now, like a man ready to fight for the last piece of ground he had left, while Yandy looked both humiliated and furious, her hands folded across her chest like she was holding herself together by a thread. The producers, on the other hand, smelt gold. The energy was volatile, the emotions raw, and they knew the audience at home would be glued to every second of what was happening. You don't want a circus, and I'm not going to be the clown. Do you think one piece of paper defines me? Do you think this changes the guy I am, the parent I've been, and the provider I've always been? 2-inch, don't you dare play the victim now. You had years to step up, years to tell the truth, and you let me carry tea. Erica said, slamming her hand down on the table with such force that the room shook. Her voice trembled at the end, her emotions bursting over into tears, but her wrath burnt so fiercely that it momentarily stopped everyone. I was mocked, doubted, called bitter, envious, messy, everything under the sun, and all because you couldn't stand up and be a man. Yandy's breath caught, her eyes jumping between them as if she were witnessing a fight break out in real time. Instantly, social media went up, with fans saying things like, "She's speaking for all of us," and screenshots of Erica's outburst flooding timelines. And Mendeecees is still trying to gaslight after DNA doesn't lie. The fan base split in two, with some defending him by arguing that mistakes were made, while others doubled down on Erica's side, claiming that her suffering was evidence of her truth all along. However, the division was even deeper inside that room, where Yandy finally spoke in a low, controlled, but venomous voice. I can't even look at you right now because you embarrassed me, our family, and yourself. Instead of taking responsibility for it, you're still trying to talk circles like the cameras aren't recording every moment. Mendeecees raised his hands in irritation as he attempted to justify himself, saying, "Y'all acting as if I knew for sure. I had doubts." She turned her head away from him, tears wanting to fall but her pride preventing them. Yes, but suspicions aren't proof. What was I meant to do, go confess to something I didn't even know was true? Erica cut him down right away with a bitter, hollow laugh. You made the decision to lie because you knew enough to know that you weren't being truthful and that you were hiding, which is worse than the error itself. Her comments fell like knives, penetrating further into the brittle facade Mendeecees had attempted to maintain, until the reality had to drag you out by force. The way Erica is devouring him was causing fans at home to react in real time, as if they were a part of the scene themselves. Yandy needs to leave him on camera right now, a fan tweeted. Memes of Mendeecees' stunned expressions spread like wildfire, another wrote. When the DNA doesn't match your lies and caught in 4K, it was no longer just reality TV, the captions read. The trial was open to the public. Erica's scathing remarks served as the prosecution, while supporters served as the jury. Samantha Mendeecees' ex, who had remained silent for the majority of the ordeal until now, spoke up from the back, steady but trembling with emotion, and she stepped forward, her presence alone enough to make the tension crackle. Then, in the middle of the chaos, a shocking twist dropped that no one saw coming. The room paused, and Erica looked astonished. You guys can dispute all you want, but let's speak about the children, who have to grow up witnessing this disaster and watching their parents ruin each other on TV. Yandy bowed her head, and even Mendeecees was taken aback. Samantha went on, her voice now more forceful. This ain't about who's right or wrong anymore. This is about children who didn't ask for this, and you're so focused on proving points that you're forgetting about them. Erica, who had been riding the high of vindication, suddenly looked conflicted as tears welled up in her eyes as she thought about the children tangled up in the middle of the chaos. Yandy's face softened too, her maternal instinct pulling her back from rage to heartbreak, and Mendeecees leaned back, his eyes glassy for the first time as the weight of Samantha's words finally pierced through the shield of his pride. Fans watching from home reacted in real time, with comments that the kids are the real victims. All I wanted was the truth. All I wanted to do was quit carrying it by myself. Yandy sighed deeply and mumbled, we can't undo what's done, but we can decide what happens next. despite her. The question was no longer only about who the father was, but also about what other secrets lurked in the shadows, ready to ruin lives, reputations, and families once more. And I got plenty. The cliffhanger left everyone gasping. The storm had only just begun, and the silence that followed Mendeecees' threat felt heavier than the DNA results themselves. Erica's normally bold, fiery, confrontational face flickered with a mix of panic and fury. She clenched her jaw, trying not to show her fear, but everything was captured on camera, and Yandy sat up straight, suspicious right away. The energy in the room was electric, the kind that could only lead to more chaos, and the fans watching at home were devouring it. "What do you mean receipts?" she demanded, her tone sharp, almost desperate to divert attention from her husband's humiliation. Samantha crossed her arms, her eyes narrowing as if she too wanted to know what other skeletons might be rattling in Erica's closet. "Wait, does Erica got dirt, too?" And Mendeecees pulling out the Uno reverse card caused Twitter to erupt in speculation right away. Mendeecees leaned back, his confidence slowly returning as he realized he had just regained a shred of control. "See, everybody quick to point fingers at me," he said, his voice cool but edgy. "However, you are unaware that Erica is also not a saint. You believe that you are the only person capable of playing detective. I am aware of certain things, and if we go ahead and expose my business to the world for scrutiny, it is only right that yours be revealed as well." "You think you're frightening me?" Erica said, her voice rising with rage as her hand sprang to her chest. "You think I'm going to let you flip this on me after everything I've been through? No, Mendeecees. This isn't about myths about you and the lies you've been living." However, the slight tremble in her voice betrayed her. The producers zoomed in on her quivering lips, the tears threatening to spill again, and the fans saw it right away. One Instagram remark said, "She's hiding something," while another TikTok video of her response went viral with the description, "Not Erica choking when Mendeecees mentioned receipts." Yandy was also refusing to let it go. She turned sharply toward Erica, her voice laced with venom. "So what is it? What exactly is he talking about, given your desire to prolong my marriage and expose my man? Because I'm not going to sit here and defend you too while you're out there hiding your hands and hurling rocks." Erica's once powerful position of vindication began to disintegrate, and the tension doubled. "Don't come at me like that, Yandy. You think you know everything, but you don't know half of what really goes on. So don't push me because I promise you." "I got nothing to hide," Erica retorted, her voice now more composed and her pride struggling to come back. However, her gaze quickly shifted away from Mendeecees' sly smile. The audience could tell from just one look that there was blood in the water. Then, like throwing petrol to a fire that was already roaring, Samantha spoke up once again, grinning, "Oh, I know what he's talking about." The room gasped. "Erica, are you sure you want to keep acting innocent?" Erica turned to face Samantha, her eyes wide with shock. "You stay out of this," she growled, raising her voice, but it was already too late, the spark had been lit. "No, see, you wanted to be the loudest voice in the room." Samantha retaliated. "You wanted to destroy him and boast when that DNA paper was revealed. Now, let's be honest. Let's discuss where you were running around and whose bed you were lying in when you were meant to be faithful to your own." Yandy's hand sprang to her mouth, fans yelled on the internet, "Wait, Erica cheated too," and the producers gleefully spoke off camera, already figuring out how to stretch this issue across several episodes. "Y'all ain't about to flip this on me. I don't care what y'all say. I don't care what you think. You know the DNA test," Erica said, getting to her feet as her chair screeched across the floor as her voice wavered between anger and despair. "Don't attempt to pull me simply because he can't handle his reality. Don't change. And the truth about him is already out." Her voice broke once again, but she maintained a defiant chin. Nevertheless, the harm was done. Fans were